Nicole is a sales and a business coach who helps entrepreneurs and sales teams in corporations with confidence, clarity, and heart without pushy tactics. As the founder of Bird's Eye View Consulting, she uses psychology and NLP and her personal brilliance to create trust-driven sales strategies, which, as you'll hear from her today, actually starts a long time before they even become a potential customer or you even have that call to action or the coaching strategy call. Her own journey of resilience fuels her passion for helping women in business break through limitations and their own value. Welcome, Nicole.
Hi, thank you for having me, Kate. This is awesome. Thanks. This is going to be really great. I love that what you're doing.
Nicole and I met, and Nicole stood up and talked at a meeting, and I thought straight away, oh my goodness, and this was about a year ago, I have to speak to this woman. She knows who she is. She says it with confidence and clarity. And we've since had a couple of conversations about the companies that she's helped as well. So I know that she knows her stuff and she's got the stats to be able to prove that. But I wanted to bring her on here so that she can add some value for the coaches, as in personal training, health coaches, wellness people, and sales and what they think and feel about sales. But first, I'm going to ask Nicole. Nicole, can you share with us 2 or 3 of your major pivotal learning moments in your business journey in working for yourself, which if you can explain your background, that's fine. But what are some of those lessons that you've learned?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess, my journey, I've been in sales and service for a good over 20 years now. So I've done a lot of different things, but a lot of my career I spent in the travel and tourism industry. So I did that for a long time. And through that, I got the opportunity to live in and work in the United States. So I worked in the US for about 6 years, which was really great. And one of those pivotal moments for me was, I think when you are in an environment where you feel like a little bit of a small fish in a massive pond, and then all of a sudden you move across and now you feel like you're a bit of a big fish in a smaller pond. I feel like my first big lesson for me was that when I first moved to America, I thought I knew everything and I thought I was really good at everything and I thought I was better than everyone. And that was, this massive, and I'm not an egotistical person by any means, but it was something that was a real lesson to me around being a bit more humble and learning from other people, because other people actually shape your journey. And so when I was in sales in the US, I use my own tactical ways of how to coach coaches within the sales industry, because when I lived in the US, I was a wholesale agent. So I wasn't a B2C, I was B2B. And very quickly realized that these guys needed help with how they qualified clients, how they were able to actually get a booking across the line and convert it. So for me, I really had to coach them. And from that quick instant success, I then got approached to become a sales coach. And that was like that whole, who, me? Oh, I didn't. Oh, okay, I get it. Like, I'm pretty good, and da da da. And and then when I became a little bit more well known and had some real big results happening, then there was a big national role that came up, and I went for it thinking, oh, I'm a shoe in here. I know everything, and I didn't get it. And that was for me a bit of a wake up call to be like, okay, yeah, you don't know everything, and you actually need to be a lot more open with your way of approaching things. And I think for me, I needed that lesson. I needed that lesson for me to go, hey, I know I'm a good leader, I know I'm good at sales, I know I'm good at all the things, but I still don't know everything, and I'm still open to learning. And every single person in the journey gives you something to take on board to be able to be a better person and a better leader and a better sales coach. So yeah, that was a big pivotal moment for me. And then if you fast forward, moving back to Australia, I starting my own business was a big, and I'm sure everyone can relate when they first go out on their own. It's like, oh God, I'm just going to take the leap and I'm just going to go for it and hope to God I don't crash and burn. But at the end of the day, the founding principles were there. And I think where my superpower is, I guess, for a better word, is that it's really about understanding people, because ultimately that's what makes the world go around, is people, connection, and all of that, because that's what sales is connection. And I just feel like I've got a natural ability to hear what people are feeling, understand what their biggest roadblocks are, which majority of the time is their own story that they tell themselves about what they see is happening or they feel is happening. And when you actually help them navigate through that, some incredible results come from that. So that's where I've really built my business and model on that, is that, it's all about mindset. It's all about being structured and having some good foundations around you to build on. Because if your foundation is rocky, it'll fall over at some stage, wherever it is on the journey. So you've got to put time into foundational growth. So
What do you mean?
in that, well,
What do you mean foundational growth? Are you talking about your own personal
both
development?
It's business and personal. So it's kind of going, do you have a good structure in your business? So do you know what you need to get done every single day? Do you have a to-do list? Do you break it down so it's bite-sized chunks, not big, huge things that you're looking, and then you start procrastinating about all the other things and then nothing gets done? So you kind of have a bit of a coaching moment around your structure of you and your business, and what do you want to achieve? Are you clear on your goals? Do you know the steps to the roadmap to get there? All of that sort of stuff. That's really important to have that laid out, because if that's not solid, you will find that cracks start to appear that can actually deter you from the path that you're on to get to where you want to be. So I find that that's important.
Can we dive into that a little bit further? I think I understand what you mean, but do you mean that the cracks would appear when you are actually delivering your service to the client, or when you are trying to onboard more people and maybe, scale or run ads or something?
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of both, to be honest. Because if you're an entrepreneur that's or a solopreneur that's just you and your business, your business roadmap needs to be really clear. Like, where do you want to go in, a year's time, 2 years time, 5 years time? Where do you want or see the business to be? And then if you are running a team, then if your roadmap isn't clear for the rest of the people that are getting on board, then people start going in their own direction, right? And then all of a sudden the manager goes, oh my God, I have the worst team. They don't know, they're not doing this and they're not doing that. It's like, well, actually they're not clear on the vision, and they're not clear on the purpose, and they're not clear on the direction that you want to take the business in. So, a lot of that stems from the foundation, right? If you don't have a clear and strong foundation, things will start to happen that frustrate you as a manager or as a business owner. And ultimately, this might sound a little bit harsh, but it's on yourself to be a little bit reflective, to go, shit, what could I have done? Or, what help do I need to make sure that this is really solid, so that I can start building an empire, right?
Yeah, which could be, whatever the size empire is that you'd want, whether it's yourself or whether it's yourself and 3 team members.
Exactly.
I'm such a huge fan of, I love the point actually about staying humble. The first point, I always need to be reminded of that as well. But I also love the point of accountability. I think everything is your fault. And this is a little bit outside the niche of coaches and probably service, but well, maybe not. They might potentially be your customers. I've always said, when you walk into a cafeteria or a restaurant or something, if the staff are happy or they're not happy, you can tell that it comes from 100%. The top, can't you? You can always tell.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a and I guess living in the USA was a real treat, because I guess the culture is different, right? They're a service-based industry, where it's like they work for tips, so their service is outstanding. You can't fault it. You are over stimulated when you walk in. They make sure that you have the most incredible experience, because ultimately their pay relies on that, right? So they go above and beyond. When I first moved back to Australia, I was like almost insulted that no one asked to give me a free, a glass of water when I sat down. I'm like, where's my water? How come they're not asking me? It was so funny. But it's like, oh, it's such a shift in culture. But, I guess it's that service industry. When you're in sales, it is a service that you're providing, whether it's a product, whether it's a actual coaching thing that you're doing, you're providing someone a solution to what they need help with. And ultimately that's what sales is. Sales is is problem solving. And I think a lot of the times people get in their heads that, oh, sales is like a dirty word, or it's, I don't want to be salesy, and I don't want to be, like the poor car salesmen that have that, paintbrush over them, thinking that people think that like everybody's like a car salesman, or, it's going, at the end of the day, sales is about human connection. Why are they coming to you? Especially if you're in an industry where it's saturated. So if you've got a lot of people in your lane that are doing the same kind of thing as you, why you? But ultimately it comes down to that exact thing as you. People buy from you and buy your services and what you can do for them, not like, oh, I need a personal trainer. Who can I go and find? And I go in the yellow pages and pick the first one and just go with that. Like, that doesn't happen, right? People need a connection to you. I need to vibe with you. And the only way you can vibe with someone is by having a conversation and by actually listening to what they're saying. And yeah, from actually having a proper conversation and you really listening, it'll blow your mind in that opening sentence what that customer actually tells you that they want. And then you can actually make the right recommendations based on that conversation, because now you're actually being of service to them. Oh, I'm hearing what you're saying. And from what you're saying, I feel like I can really help you in that space. And here's what I feel, here's how I feel I can really help you. How's that sounding to you? Because they've actually told you, it actually makes a flow effect of a conversation and a sales pitch versus, oh, let me tell you all the services that I do. I do this, 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 I do this. And the customer's like, whoa, dude, I'm out. You lost me at the first point, So it's that shift in how you have a better conversation and how you listen a bit more intently.
And I wasn't intending on the conversation necessarily going this way, but this is gold because obviously you're a sales trainer. I know, or I'm pretty sure, that when you have that first initial conversation and you ask them what they want, the conversation goes for a little bit longer than that. You'd ask them a few more questions. Is there anything that you'd like to share with coaches and service-based peoples that you wish they knew, even just about that structure of the sales call itself?
Yeah, I look, pretty much 90% of people that I coach, when I go through the 7 steps of a sales cycle, step number 2, well, first is step 1, welcome your customer, make them feel welcome and valid and validated. Number 2 is have a conversation. 9 times out of 10, when I mystery call, or if I am listening to how they're like talking to the customer, they are not listening to the customer. They are so intent of getting everything out, features and benefits. This is why you want to buy from us. This is what we do for you. This is what they go straight into that versus actually going, oh, how did you hear about us? Did did anyone recommend you, or did you find us online, or are you following me on socials, or what sparked you to reach out to me, or whatever? What is it that you're feeling at the moment that you think that I can help you with? Just those conversations that are open-ended can just be the absolute golden nugget to everything that leads on from that. If you're not doing that at the start and spending time just chatting, then that's where you get people ghost you. That's where you get people not want to buy from you, or they go for someone cheaper because they start to go down their values list, right? Like, if price was everyone's number 1 value, we probably wouldn't buy anything in our life, right? But people buy things based on how it makes them feel. And if you've made someone feel like you've heard them, understood exactly what it is that they need, then that's a no-brainer why they'd buy from you. It doesn't matter how expensive you feel that you are. Oh, no one's buying from me because I'm too expensive. Well, do you have clients? Yes. Well, then you're not too expensive. Like, that's the things that's like, people get themselves worked up about those things, but it's not really that.
And even if they are hearing you're too expensive, I don't know, that's another conversation for another day, isn't it? Maybe there's a different niche they could aim for. What would you say would be something else in terms of, nuggets that coaches should and you wish they would do in terms of what because of the amount of businesses that you've worked with and helped? What's something else that you wish that they already did or that they should know?
Yeah, I'm gonna just tell you based on my own journey at the moment. So a year ago, I was like, who should I, how do I really get out to the market and how do I really promote myself? And I started a bit of a social media, I guess, just a little bit of like how do I show up? How do people know who I am? How do people, follow me and know that I'm an expert in my field? And at the start, I looked and went, well, I'm not really on social media and I'm not really playing in that space. So I actually found a quote that works really well, is success starts with showing up, but it lasts when you keep showing up. And I think that that's really important, because when I first started, I was overthinking, oh my God, do I look okay in this photo? Oh my God, what are people going to think about this post? And that actually stopped me from moving forward, right? So I didn't take the first step. I would just procrastinate and try and perfectionize every post. And then I met with, like, I got a coach myself because it's like, how do I just overcome this? Because I know it's myself and I know it's my own mindset. So I need to push through to break through. And so I just started posting. And then I can tell you in May, I mostly play in the LinkedIn platform. That's where a lot of my clients play in. So I use that platform a lot more than I do Facebook or Instagram. But it's sort of the same with every platform. So I started posting twice a week. And I started with about 1,100 followers. And now fast forward to now, I'm now at almost 8,000 followers in less than 6 months. And I do post every day, but I post things that are around, what are my scars? What have I learned on my journey that I know people would benefit from? What is a story that emulates how I'm an expert in what I talk about? So, it might be a client transformation. It might be, I just posted today about how I went and got a massage on the weekend, and the yes culture that the massage place has was that it was so rammed, but she never said no to anyone, and she made sure everyone was really comfortable, and she would get to everyone, and everyone would walk away with a massage on the day. So it's this, could she have turned around and said, sorry, we're booked out, go away, come back another day? Or could she have had that open mindset where it was like, oh my God, I'm going to make this work, so it was just those little things where you can tell those stories in any sense of the way. I have a notepad in my phone, and every time I have a situation or a thing that comes up in my day, I'm like, oh my God, that's content. Oh, I'm going to talk about that. Oh, and if you're not using ChatGPT or any kind of form of AI to help you with your time, then you're crazy, but hey, you do you. But at the end of the day, I use my dictaphone in my ChatGPT and I talk about the story that I just had. Hey, this is what just happened to me. And as you start building up, it knows who you are and it builds a profile around you. And I just say, can you create a LinkedIn post with a couple of hashtags for me? Can you please put it together? Boom, in 10 seconds, I've got a post. Or I can do that for a week and I can string it out for a week of content. So I guess that was a long-winded answer, but I think the thing is just show up. Like, if you don't show up, no one can see you. And most of the time now, that's how people find you and know who you are and what you do. And at the start, you'll have people, I walk into a room now and people go, oh my God, I see you on social media all the time. And I'm like, do you? Because I don't know that you see me. And so you'll have a lot of silent followers and people will just start following you. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, probably after about 3 months, you might get a like from them and they start liking your content. And then after maybe 6 months, they might start commenting on your content. And then all of a sudden, and this is what happened to me in December last year, is that I got about 6 or 7 leads just before the end of December going, hey, in 2025, can we talk about sales training? So, you know what I mean? Like this, it works, but you've got to keep showing up. And if you don't, and you only sporadically post once a month here or, twice a week here, it's just going to take a long time to build that. So that would be my biggest advice that I see in that space. Don't sell your product. Your product will sell itself. Sell you. Why you? Why should they trust you? And why should they like you? And what would you do for me to help me? So that's what you need to sell, not the product. The product will sell itself.
Well, they can get in touch with you and then they can talk to you and then you can tell them honestly about whether it would be even a good fit. But how do you know otherwise? I mean, sure, you can build sales pages and they can opt into stuff. Yeah. Actually, I've noticed your content as well. And I love it because it's a story. And we all, human brains are designed to transfer information via story, aren't they?
Yeah, so true. Human connection is the key, mate. That is more and more we're moving away from that because we're using more technology and we want instant gratification, right? Like when you live in America, you can go through a bloody drive-through ATM and get cash instantly without talking to anyone. There's so many things that are moving in that direction. How do we make things faster? How do we make things more efficient? How do we make it, but ultimately AI right now will never replace a human being. It's got no empathy. It's got no listening skills that can actually make you feel like it's genuinely listening to your feelings and how it's going to help you transform or whatever that may be. So it can use fancy words, but at the end of the day, what are words?
An energetic connection, isn't it? It's there's an energy between human beings that's 100%. Not ever going to be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Wasn't planning on it going here. You could actually let's do another version 2 of this and actually teach people how to do social media, because that'd be
Yeah.
great. I'm going to make sure you can ask Nicole questions, and that all of her links of any of her free giveaways that she'd like to give, I don't know if she has any, but now she might, are near this video somewhere. And Nick, I'll put you in a couple of my different groups so that people can ask you
sure.
questions relative
Would love
to
that.
them. Is there anything that you'd like to sign off with?
Just
In
back
thoughts?
yourself, guys. You know, at the end of the day, you are an expert in your field, and not everyone knows what you know. And I think we think too much about the detail. It's like, at the end of the day, when you know you can get results for people, bloody own it, and go out there and help people. Because obviously, when you're a coach, that is your drive, right? You just want to help people, and you know, like, get back to that root of why you do what you do. And I promise you, it'll just keep thriving from there. So yeah, I think back yourself, because if you don't, who else will?
Amazing. What's your website if people want to get in touch, Nicole?
Sure thing. Well, I have, my business is called Bird's Eye View Consulting, so they can follow me on, like, they can jump in online and have a look, or I'm on social media. I'm on LinkedIn. Yeah, start following me, start watching, and then you could potentially start liking and commenting. You know the journey.
Or not,
So,
just tell your friend, and then your friend might want to hire her anyway. So
exactly.
it's really not about the likes, is it? Opportunities come anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a vibe, not so much.
Yeah. And I think it's funny, because as a sales coach, you know, you kind of go, oh, I should be selling on there, but that's not my vibe. I don't sell from my platforms. I build credibility. And I think that's, you know, that's where it's all about.
Then it makes, like you said, you walk into the room, they know you, and they've had a conversation. They feel like they've had a conversation with you prior. When you go and have these conversations with these people that contacted you in December, how much different? What did you notice that it was different because they had seen your stuff? They already knew what you stood for. It was like the second or third conversation. It's like already the follow up here. Where do you sign?
It's like we've already gone on a few dates, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's makes it a little bit less cold. It's warm, right? It's a warmer lead than it is a cold lead. So yeah. Anyway, it works. So yeah, would love to have a chat to anyone that's feeling a little bit like if this resonates, then you're not the only one. It resonates with a lot of people. So yeah, reach out. I'm more than happy to help you and have a chat and see what you can do to elevate your business.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Nicole.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure. I'm sure it'll help heaps of people.
Good. I hope so.